Hi, boys and girls. In this episode, we're going to be talking about data collection, which is a part of statistics. Our objective is to collect data using direct observation experiment, interviews, and questionnaires. Engage. Conduct a survey within your household or in your classroom on a topic of your choice. What topic did you decide on? How did you collect the information for the survey? How many persons were a part of your survey? Did you get the information you requested from the persons who were part of your survey? So let's think about our classroom, for example. We could find out my topic, how many students like patties, okay, and the types of patties that they like. How did you collect the information? I could question each child in the class. I could interview them. How many? So, we would check the number of students in the class, okay? And did you get the information that you requested? So that's one way of getting information through interviews. We could have also done this via questionnaire. So we actually put our questions together and then give them, and they fill it out, whether on paper or using an online version or something like that in terms of a Google form or other data collection tools that are digital. It says, John did a survey and showed the results below. Can you tell what kind of survey you think he conducted to gather this information? So here we go. Daily temperature history at the Norman Manley Airport on March 30th. Okay, so year 2000, 2001, 2002, 3, 4, and 5. The temperature 32.2, 31.5, 32, 30.2, 33.5, and 32.2. Let's look at the year now. 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Let's see. 30, 30, 29, 21, 32, 32.9, 38. Wow, 2013, 34. What are the different ways you can collect the information? So what do you think he was using? How did he go about collecting this information here? Let's explain a little. Statistics. What is it? This is the science that deals with collecting, organizing, analyzing, and interpreting data. So statistics again deals with collecting. How do we get it? How do we organize the information? How do we analyze? How do we interpret the data? Research is an investigation into a study of materials to arrive at a conclusion. Research is a vibrant process that can be organized into 4 stages: exploring, investigating, processing, and creating. Now, research again: exploring, investigating, processing, and creating. Conducting a research study. Why conduct research? This is an investigative process that involves identifying the topic or question you want answered, gathering information on your topic, analyzing and evaluating the evidence gained, drawing conclusions, and sharing information you learned from your research. So again, research is a process. So you go out, you have a topic in mind, you gather information, you analyze the evidence you have collected, you draw some conclusions, and you share what you have learned. Did you know that another name for information is data? We can obtain data from many sources, from listening to our friends, families, teachers, from observations, and from the media. Data is a collection of facts such as numbers, words, measurements, observations, or just descriptions of things. Graphs are used to represent information or data which has been collected. We can use a picture, line, bar, or circle to show this same information gathered. Okay, so you have different types of graph. You can have a pictograph, a line graph, a bar graph, a circle graph, or a pie chart that can be used to represent information. Now, what is a sample and population? A population is the entire group that you would want for your research. So if we're talking about the parties and the students in class, then the population would be the entire class. Okay. A sample is the specific group or smaller group that you will collect data from rather than using all the population. So I could use one group in the class. Instead of interviewing all of the class, I could just use one group, and that would be the sample. Let's expand that. Where the school is the population, and if I survey one class, then the class would now be the sample. Using the population would be too much, so it is best to use a sample which is always less than the total size of the population. So again, instead of surveying all of the schools in Jamaica, we could survey a smaller number. So instead of the total population of schools in Jamaica, we could survey a smaller number, maybe 10 schools, 20 schools, and that would be our sample. Let's go to ways of collecting data. Some common data collection methods are as follows: surveys, interviews, observations, focus groups, experiments, etc. The data collected through these methods are analyzed and used to answer research topic or questions in order to draw valid conclusions. Now, what is a survey? This is one way of conducting research. It's when you look closely or examine information for research. Observation. This information is collected through carefully watching or monitoring something or someone to collect data for your study, subject, or sampled unit. What's a questionnaire? A questionnaire is a set of printed or written questions with a choice of answers devised for the purpose of a survey or statistical study. An interview is a structured conversation where one participant asks questions and the other provides answers. Data collection is a very important part of collecting information for your research. Without data, your research would not be valid, or it would just be your opinion on a particular topic. To make research valid, you need data from multiple sources to prove your hypothesis. Try this. Conduct research online and name some institutions that collect data, then tell what method is used to collect these data. Elaborate. You work at the leading television station in Jamaica, and your producer has asked you to find 3 researchers that are to conduct research to find out which TV programs are most popular among Jamaican school children currently. The first researcher, whose name is Jake, decided to try to interview every single child in Jamaica. The second researcher, named Mateo, decided to interview the children at her local school. The third researcher, named D'Angelo, chose 10 urban schools and 10 rural schools and interviewed 50 children from each school. A. Do you think they were able to collect any data from their interviews? B. The first researcher never finished his study. Why do you think this happened? Now remember, the first researcher is the one who tried to interview every single child in Jamaica. C. Whose research method seems as if it is possible to collect the data you need and why? Finally, evaluation. Write the most suitable method of collecting data for the following topics. Is it observation, interview, or experiment? We need to see this being done as well. Number 1, the type of fruit trees in your backyard. So do you do an observation, an interview, or an experiment? The favorite fruits of students in your class. Observation, interview, or experiment. The amount of time you take to get to school in the mornings for 1 week. Number 4, the family types of students in your class, the number of cars in the parking lot of your school, the amount of time needed for a spoonful of sugar to dissolve in a glass of juice. So in this episode, we were looking at statistics, in particular data collection. Our objective: to collect data using direct observation or experiments or interviews and questionnaires. So we need to understand how and when we can use direct observation, experiments or interviews or even questionnaires to get the data that we need to make valid conclusions. Okay guys, complete your evaluation activities and I will see you in the next episode.